Hey everybody. Well, we are now under a shelter-in-place order in Minnesota. It's not the most restrictive version of shelter-in-place. We can still, thankfully, get out and get into nature and do things like this. So that's what I'm doing today, spending some time in God's beautiful creation. Was very hopeful the logging was going to start this week, and then our temperatures jumped up to mid-50s and got a bunch of rain coming, so that's not going to happen. I mean, we're actually finally at the top of the list for the logger. He called me, was ready to roll, but then our temps just skyrocketed, so I don't think that's going to happen. So I have to put that on pause for a few weeks, but I can always still cut ironwoods. So today I'm on a ridge here, a small ridge, but a ridge nonetheless. And it is a bedding area already. I know even during the season there's a lot of deer beds up here, but it's pretty open. A lot of ironwoods here. So what I'm gonna do today is cut and make brush piles and get some of this stuff out of the way for the loggers, but also open up some holes so the sunlight can come through. But I will be back and show you what it looks like when I'm done. I got 1 tank of gas and 1 battery, so we'll see what I can get done with that. All right. All right. Burnt through a battery and a tank of gas, so we'll call it a day. Go hang out with the kids. Yeah, all I did was just get at those ironwoods. Talked about them in other videos, but if I want to cut, there's plenty of them out here. I got to remind myself too, like it's this whole habitat thing is a marathon, not a sprint. I mean, I look in the woods there. If you are good with your tree identification, you can see there's tons of them. Well, it's probably tough to see from this far away, but tons of ironwoods that I do plan on cutting. If you look up, there's not much for mature timber, and that's a beautiful slope. It slopes down to a pond there, so all that area could be set up for some nice bedding. But you know what? This area that I cut will grow up eventually and start to outgrow its benefit. And when that happens, I'll just keep moving down the ridge there or start working on some of those slopes where deer like to bed, find those flat spots. You know, lots of options. But today I just, got at the ironwoods here on this area. I like to do brush piles. For a couple of reasons. One, ironwoods just have, I don't know, they got nothing to them as far as their crown goes. So if you scatter them out and act like you're putting cover down, you're really not. But if you get down to a deer's level here with a brush pile, I definitely am putting cover down. That'll work for a year or two while this early successional growth starts to pop up. Two, when you put brush piles down, it does protect your trees too. Not that that's necessarily the purpose right here, but if I was in an area with a lot of oaks, I'd like to do some brush piles, because those young oaks are the first thing the deer seem to want to eat up, and when the deer yard on us, we struggle to get new oaks coming. So brush piles can help with that too. Let's see here. When I cut this, I still try to make it easy to walk around in. I mean, there's some areas you can see why the deer already like to bed here. And there's some fallen down trees. You can see over there. And there's a bunch of deer beds next to those trees. But when I'm cutting this and making my brush piles and laying trees down, I still want to make it so it's easy for the deer to move around. Plenty of little pockets where it seems like they might want to bed up against. Even you can see, as I was cutting in here, that was a huge ironwood. It's got to be an old one. But even there, I cut a little trail, just kind of right up into there, cutting out that way. Just cutting some trees over here. There, got some laid down, but I did cut the stuff up on top so they can jump out that way if they want. Probably should cut a hole out going that way. The only thing I left standing were some of these aspen because of the potential logging. I don't know if they're laying these trees down. the loggers will want to come here or not. I tried to keep it open enough so that'd be easy to snag them if they want to grab them. I'm hoping that they do, because if they take them, when you clear cut aspen, which all these trees over here are aspen, well, there's an oak right there, nice oak over there. But when you clear cut aspen, boy, it just really fires up that root system. And if I can get those coming on this hillside instead of a bunch of other species of trees, that can make a pretty sweet bedding area. And of course, if the loggers decide not to take them, I mean, there's only maybe a dozen of them up on this hill, which I'm hoping they would, because this was just thick with those ironwoods, and now I cut them out of the way, so they should be easy to grab. But if they don't, I'll come in and knock them down in the summer and make my own little clear cut. Reason I didn't do hinge cutting here, well, I'm not going to do much more hinge cutting until the logging's done, one. But ironwoods, like I've said in other videos, they look like they make a beautiful hinge. They just don't live very well. You can certainly hinge them if you want to kind of prop up your cover for a few years, because they'll last for a while. But they're not going to grow, so I've just kind of gotten the habit of knocking them down instead. They just, they're a nice tree to get down to the ground, because they took over the canopy. And now if you look up, I got a nice big hole minus the aspen that and when those are all gone, all these trees are gone, it's going to be wide open. So this should be a pretty nice bedding area. All right, well, hope you all are safe and staying away from large groups here as we shelter in place, and let's just pray to God that this thing starts to die out as the weather warms up. So God bless everybody. Take care.